to you. You're welcome to today's Change the Narratives. We are about to begin the learning on the discipline mind. It's a very, very important thing where we intend to see how to reshape the youth's mind. And you viewers, I have with me very noble personalities, people of value and respect. I may not be able to introduce them all myself, but just keep in touch with us, follow us as we continue. Okay, right away, like the team said, a visit to the mind. We just want to ask a few questions. How the youth can invest in the mind, and what are the possibilities? What's actually happening to the youth? Is it that we have not been able to invest solely into the mind? In that regards, I'd like Mr. Itwe. What can you say on this?
Thank you once more for giving me the floor and the opportunity. Yeah, it's another day and another team. A visit to the mind. When I heard of this, I was like, wow, I have a lot of people outside who are listening, thinking like me. Because Cameroon as a whole, Africa at large, we need to start from our mindset. Rebuilding, rejuvenating. Because you cannot start something without thinking or have an ideology. So empowering Cameroonians and youth of Africa as a whole, we need to visit the mind, as you rightly said. So that's where we begin. Sorry, I did not introduce myself. I'm Greg Gilbert here, aspiring to be a conflict expert. Though we are seeing the domain of trying to make one or two, but we still have other domains that we are focusing on. Left over to, we have another panelist, which they will introduce themselves.
Alright, thank you very much. I think we should do a kind of gender equality. We would like to hear from the president of Karen Foundation. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Ms. Ako Ashupavin-Agbo, the founder of Karen's Foundation. I would like to talk on the mind because I believe the mind is a powerful force for success or failure. Everything that we aspire to be in future, it all begins within, and that within is the mind. The mind is a tool that will tell you you are supposed to do this and you're not supposed to do that. And us coming together to build the minds of the youth is building our future generation for tomorrow, because the minds of our youth are really depreciating. Our youth no longer think of what to do that will be beneficial in the future, but only think about today. They forget about the fact that life is all about sustainability. What will be of us tomorrow? They forget the fact that this our immediate pleasure will not help us tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so touching and very teaching from the president of Karen Foundation. Moving by my right, I would like us to hear from the president of Friends Without Borders. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eva. I'm glad to be here, like seriously. And being a father of many children, I decided that I will put in my best to ensure that the mindset of those in the society is being revisited or like being visited again. Now, when we talk about mindset, to my own perspective, I think we're looking at both positive and negative mindset. That's the visit we're talking about here, and the youth of Cameroon indeed have been attached a lot in the area of the negative mindset because of happenings around us. But we are believing God that with the programs like this to empower young people before or in next few days to come, we will be seeing a lot of changes. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. It's getting more and more interesting. You guys are giving me more than what I expected. Okay, before we continue, I'd like to continue with in the person of Mr. Godwin, Uncle Putin.
All right, sir. Thank you for this opportunity once more. Hello, fellow viewers. My name is Akepe Godwin, a conflict resolution student at the University of Boya, and I'm here today to talk about the visit to the mind. First first of all, like some of my colleagues have earlier spoken, we all understand that the mind is divided into two parts. We have a positive mind and a negative mind. And it is quite unfortunate that a lot of Cameroonians, as in my fellow youth, don't really believe anymore in themselves. Why? Because of the happenings around them. The things that happen around them has made them to fully move away from that positive mindset that they had about their country. What they aspired, what they hoped for that country, is making them to be more negative. And I just want to say, concerning the mind, it is like a core, right? Like we have the heart of a human being. The mind is the core of all behavior that happen in the society. For example, if you have that mind, that belief and that understanding that this Cameroon we are living in can be something else, can be more greater, if we have to put in our mindset and understanding together, definitely it is going to happen. So I just want to encourage that we should have that positive mindset. Me having that mind and you having that mind, ladies and gentlemen, definitely means that we are getting to somewhere. And I assure you, it is just a matter of time, and we should keep believing, because the change is coming and the change is gradual. Feel it in you, feel it in your society, and feel it amongst yourself. We are getting there. A visit to the mind, a very important initiative for us youths in Cameroon. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Godwin. I cannot actually express the joy that is within me. So I've understood that actually everything begins with the mind. There was a statement made by one of us last panel sitting. That's Dr. Ray. He said, if you carry all the Cameroonians and put them in America, America will become Cameroon, and exactly. All the Americans to Cameroon, Cameroon will become America. And he ended by saying that it is the mindset. Yeah. So can you elaborate on that?
My name is Arik Tambo Ray. I'm a student in the University of Uya studying conflict resolution and international relations. I'm also a history teacher, and I work with Friends Without Borders and a publication officer. Now, when we talk about the concept of the mind is a very important tool in human success. And in particularly, we are talking about Africa. He made a statement which I said last time on the fact that if you remove all the Africans and put in America, and remove all the Americans and put in Africa, you realize that the Africans will transform America into Africa, and the Americans will transform Africa to America. That is the mind. The mind is something which you should understand that wherever you put yourself, you are a seed. You are a seed even in the desert. That's the mindset. Where even if you find yourself where there is no water, you can germinate. In fact, you make yourself wherever you find yourself, you can be a seed. The mindset. A place where people think that it is not going to be successful, but you go there and you see yourself being successful. Now, for example, let me use an example of a mindset. If we see, let me say, an animal, let me say like a tortoise, like just walk beside here, you realize that me and you, when we look at that tortoise, we see pepper soup, something to eat, right? That's the first thing that will come to our mind, pepper soup, something to eat. But now, if that same tortoise pass around, let me say in America, you look for a place that can keep it for people to be seen. The mind, that's the mind. Africans are based on the fact consumption. Everything that they see is to consume just for today. They don't think about sustainable development, something which can last forever. We have the resources, but we are here. We'll discuss more the concept of the mind. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, you're welcome, Mr. Are. Each time you speak, I always learn something new. It's a very powerful statement. Very powerful statement. Before we continue, I'd like to give the floor to Ms. Nelly. Can you just throw some more light on this to the mind?
I'm called Immunity Abba, a student midwife from Yakai. Okay, and I'm seriously it's a privilege to be here. Firstly, carry the greater part of whatever thing you plan to do in the future. And looking at our youth, I'm also a youth, but looking at our youth, what they have in mind, and some majority of us, we have this mindset of traveling, that Cameroon is not a good country, we want to travel out, and the issue is not about the travel. Now, the thing is, if you had to ask this youth, you want to travel, what do you want to travel out to go and do there? You'll be like, anything. I can just go and do anything. So it brings me back to the question, is it that in your country you cannot start doing that anything you feel like if you go there you will do? So we don't impact our knowledge in our country. I think that's what is lacking in the Cameroonians in particular. We're talking about Africa as a whole, but Cameroonians, they lack the creativity, they lack there's this word that always says prophet is not going to be down unless they go out. Now, in the sense that you have a mind to create, but you realize that you don't establish that mindset in your domain, in your environment. You don't want to act on the creativity, but you go out to go and act on it. Realizing that when you go out, you have potentials in you that you did not realize when you were in the country. That's what that's what my fellow said.
Alright, thank you very much, Ms. Nelly. I think as we go further, the more interesting it becomes. Before we step to the next phase of this visit to the mind, we'd like to hear from His Blessing. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. I'm a Africa Blessing Akri from the University of Oya. Talking about the visit to the mind, like you said, everything is about the mind. Because if some of us are left to think only with our mind, we'd actually be living in our dream houses, living in our dreamland, and having everything done. But now the issue is about putting it to reality. That's where we lack the ability to. So in as much as we can think, we can have things in our mind, we have to also have the ability to put it into reality. And thinking doesn't only mean you're thinking or you're going out abstract. Think things that can come into reality. Stop imagining. Your imagination should give you a purpose. You should have a way that you know that if you think about it, then it becomes reality. So thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'd love to hear other ideas and see how we can make our mindset to become to.
Alright, thank you. I think I'll pick something from critical thinking. Because if you ask me where we are sitting now, this house was actually in somebody's mind.
Yes.
And that person now actually has to bring it to reality. That means that every youth and all of us today have something in our mind here. And we have something, and there's the need for a corresponding action to bring it to reality. Are we on the same page?
Yes.
So she has just helped me to understand that why it is good to think. As you visit the mind, you should come out with something very substantial. I think that also has to do with a lot of discipline. Because if you ask almost everybody on the street, they have good intentions. Just ask somebody to tell their plans. Oh my God. They tell you their plans. But then what is lacking? That discipline. That discipline to bring it out. Because even if, no matter where you find yourself, you will not be rewarded for just thought, but an action that you take, a corresponding action. In that regards, I like you, the president of Friends Without Borders, to throw more light to this.
I would say I was touched when Ms. Blessing spoke of not just having the mindset, but making sure it comes to what you're thinking, what you're trying to create, come to reality. I want to say, first of all, let's all have it in mind that everybody has a mind.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks. But now looking at our target, we want to see how the narratives of Africans can change. So we want to look at what can you do After thinking,
Okay.
after revisiting your mind, what can you do? Because like you said here, this house was built from someone's mind.
Yes.
I want to believe if the person just sat and thought of building a house, will not be here. There were materials, there were other steps, actions that were put in place to ensure that the building comes to reality. And so I want to say a lot what is killing us Africans is the fact that we think. Africans do think, and I think that is the reason why they always want to go out of the country, because they think. But I also want to say, looking at this panel and our focus, why don't we, I'm talking about the Africans, have those strong thoughts after visiting our minds again, decide to maybe get a close relationship with the positive mindset and ensure that we now put the small items that are supposed to be put in place to realize what we have as a dream. If every African do this, I think the narratives are going to be changing before we even want to think of. Because if you, for instance, I'm going to quote one of my tribe person, and the person of Dr. Isunge. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Isunge. He's the founder of a Hope Outreach Ministry, and he started just like we are starting, with panel discussions like this, and then got into creating an organization and left the country. When he left the country, a lot of people thought maybe this is all about it. That was somebody that had the mind. He did not stay in his country to demonstrate, but the mindset even out of the country, he could think back about his country. Thinking about his country, he brought in Mr. Samuel Monono. Some of us might know him, to replace him in the country while he goes out, work the funds, bring back the funds, and continue to project what he wants to give out. I think that's what we are losing, because the mindset of Africans, first of all, is the fact that we want to think of making it in life. We go out of the country, and because we are being visited maybe by the all the benefits that are out there, we forget about where we are coming from. And I want to say that is not a positive mindset that wants to build home. We are looking at building home. Once you are out there, Africa is your home. If you want to have the mindset of building home, then I think you must struggle to ensure that you put in place one or two things that's supposed to be in place to see that your dream is being realized.
Just before you go, can you point out this one or two things, either one or two?
Okay, pointing out one or two things. For instance, I'll start by myself. First of all, John, my story is a whole book. You understand? I'm not going to narrate my story because we'll end up remaining here. But I want to say I grew up with a mindset of giving up at one point, thinking that my life was going to end at that. But this is what I did. When another reasoning came, like when I revisited my mind, I realized that for me to be able, I have what they call to create a network. Networking actually does not only place you where you want to be, but also causes you to gain awareness of what you want to do. For instance, you cannot go to Boyatown, you don't know the road leading to Boyatown, and you want to go to Boyatown. That's the mind, right? Yeah. Thinking of going to Boyatown, but you don't know how to go to Boyatown. You must get somebody that will tell you, getting to Boyatown, you have to pass, either you get back to checkpoint, or you use this other road and get back to get to Boyatown, which is your target. So I want to say, to be youths that have been empowered, youths that have focus, answering your questions, I think we have to visit those people who have made it in life, for them to tell us how they got there. Then we can also begin from there.
All right, thank you very much. I stay on this issue of the mind because I realized that my personal research, I've noticed that most of Africans who are abroad, they make so much money, a lot of money. But looking at the tax system of this Western world is something that is threatening. Don't you think the Africans, they say, who are abroad and have refused to come back home, that they're actually building the economy of the country wherever they find themselves?
It's to me.
I'm talking to Mr. Ijo. Can you answer that?
I will come up again once more. I will answer your question by giving a question. Do you know who knows a country that is still in 2017?
Like still existing in
Yeah.
country.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
In Africa, they have their own calendar. They don't follow what the Western worlds are doing. For example, if you know that the Sunday worship was a kind of, let me take you to the picture, a kind of agreement that maybe the union, the Pope, let's say the Pope, because the Pope is the Bishop and the Pope in the Roman Catholic are seen as the highest supreme. So they enact a law that you should worship on Sunday. The real Sabbath is Saturday. Quote me anywhere. The real Sabbath, the Jewish calendar. So Ethiopia, admire Ethiopia in Lord. It is in Africa. They are in 2017 now. They were in 2024. Why? They build their own resources. They make sure there are things, they reproduce them. They use their natural resources. That's the only country that the white man will not have access. The oldest Bible is still there. Now when you talk about our brothers who are outside and don't want to come back, to me it's just a kind of negligence.
Okay.
Because they don't visit their mind. For example, you not stay there, if you die, you still come back here.
As a dead man.
As a dead somebody.
Okay.
So now, to me, going out of the country, I prefer staying in Africa and also because you can still make it. It's just because of our mindset that you must bribe for you to get a certain position. Or you must do this because this man has, set a goal. And what's killing us, like she rightly said, purpose and passion, they are misconstruing it. The youth of nowadays are misconstruing purpose and passion. You cannot tell me you want to drive, right? You want to be a driver, then you are swimming. Your best passion, your passion is swimming.
Yeah.
Then you want to become a driver. How does that go? You are not even in line. So you can use your passion to get their purpose, because purpose is something that gives you where you are driving to. Why your passion support it. Like for example, if I'm playing football, I want people to come for this, maybe panelists, or come organize a football match. I will invite people. That's why I will sell my word. That's what I want to. So back to your question, those who are out there, it's just kind of, they are paying taxes there. Yes, I have a friend who is in Dubai. She earns more than 400 and something thousand, but her bills, you discover that somebody who is in Cameroon that earns 20,000 lives better than her. Quote me anywhere. They will tell you, they cannot tell you the reality. Try to ask them that, send me money. You have not noticed, I have people who are in Cyprus, Canada. I have a brother who left Cameroon teaching in Douala. He is back. He was in Dubai. Came back because of what? The salary he earns cannot sustain even what he came back. So he says he prefers teaching because you can teach in more than 2 or 3 schools. But there you are only obliged with one job. The other job should be maybe hide and seek. Good. So you discover that they have money, but they spend it back in the economy. They cannot bring it to their own town. So why don't you better come back, generate the income here, and make it a better place? Now you go on. So not taking much of that time. That's just kind of.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that these people are practically building the economy of another country.
I would just like to.
I was going to ask you the next question. Because looking at what Ibrahim Traoré is doing, the president of Burkina Faso, that guy is doing something. Yeah. I think Tsibogo Lasso, when they call it, is building one of the world-class standard hospital with over 500 beds, hospital beds. I mean standards. And he has changed this colonial rock in Burkina Faso. You don't use it. They have their own fabric. They design the rock that judges use. I think That's the kind of mindset that Africa has, to invest in Africa. Even their school uniforms, they have transformed them to the local fabrics. That's what they are going to use. That is a true Africa. So I think you have said it right that many people don't know the purpose. I think when you visit the mine, you should be able to identify the purpose. From there, or we continue. Just before we continue, Mr. Atete Godfrey, we want you to see you.
Yeah,
you want to something. You're charging up.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once more. Viewers, please be encouraged to stay tuned. Now, there is just something I want to talk about the mind, the originality of the mind. I would like to quote it that way: the origin of the mind. Yes, we all understand that we started from somewhere. Like looking at the universe, it also has its own origin. We know it was first of all inhabited by dinosaurs, as in what they have taught us. Now we all have our own origins. The mind has its own origin. The first question you have to ask yourself as an individual on how to build your mind is, where does my mind originate from? You have to, once you understand how to answer that question, you will now know how to build your mind. It is not that youth do not want to get that purpose to drive them towards their passion. If I'm correct, you get it. It is just that they don't yet understand. I believe they don't yet understand the origin of their mind. Now, a lot of us in Africa, a lot of African countries were being ruled by the Western world. Colonialism, right? Now, we can also see that this has a greater role to play in our mindset. We behave like them. We eat all our attributes.
Assimilation.
Exactly, that is assimilation. Thank you, my history teacher. We were being assimilated. You know, somebody can impose on you a specific way of life. It is not your way of life, and you can never live it up to 100% perfection as to the way that person wants it to do. Like our host earlier said, you see the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. You see what he is doing is he is decolonizing Burkinabes. He's decolonizing their minds. We have the same thing with Julius Malema of South Africa. He has been decolonized. We have Patrice Lumumba. His mind has been decolonized. I encourage you to go and check on some of his presentations on how to decolonize your mind. Now, for you to better well placed, for you to have a good positioning in life and how to go about your life, your mind, you should understand the origin. Trace back to where your origin comes from. If you see that it is not the best, if you are living a life that has to do with that which was imposed on you through assimilation and association, you should redefine your culture, redefine your life the way it suits the African context. You cannot be living in Africa and you are living the life of a Westerner. No, you have to live according to your society. Set your goals and your objectives according to your society. I think the misconception a lot of us have is because we blame our government.
Yeah.
We blame our government because the government, they are not solely independent. They work based on what they are told to do. I'll put it that way. Yes, because they are not solely on their own. Whatever they do is not, they are not responsible for their actions. You get it?
Yeah.
Yes. So in order to be able to succeed, fellow viewers, decolonize your mindset. Understand that Africa belongs to you, and don't think that you have to go elsewhere before you make it. Know that you can make it here in Africa, so long as you start thinking like an African. Don't be thinking like a Westerner that you just get up in the morning, you sit on your phone, maybe you'll be enjoying some benefits from the state that they'll be giving to you. No, you have to start thinking that, no, this is Africa, this is where I belong. I need to hustle, I need to make my way out. You don't have to sit and start thinking that, okay, maybe if I was in the US, I will be sitting and maybe there will be some allowances coming in. No, that is what makes a lot of us to start blaming on other people, to start blaming, not seeing yourself as a cause, not seeing yourself because your mindset is focused on another person's way of life, not your own originality and your own way of life. So to coin everything, I would just say decolonize your mindset and understand the origin of the mind. If it is not the right origin, how do you identify if it is the right origin? By seeing by understanding what has been written down about that lifestyle and what you are living. If you see a link in it, if you're dressing in suits, you're dressing, that is just like I'm trying to bring about a relationship. If you're dressing in suits, stuff like that, you have to understand that your origin, your lifestyle portrays on the way you look. So first of all, understand your origin, and then secondly, understand your purpose, and then decolonize your mind and live according to your environment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. African belongs to you.
Yes.
And to be an African is your responsibility. That's very powerful. That's very powerful. I think one of the things that this panel talk does is delivering us, like deliverance. You understand?
Mental deliverance.
Yes, mental deliverance. Because when we see, as we are seated here, you know, whether directly or indirectly, we are under Western influence.
Yes.
Like myself, see the way I'm dressed. If you see this,
no, this is an African.
You yes.
My mind is saying.
Okay, so one of the things we have to, I think, one of the definitions of primitivity historically says that cultures that are foreign to Western culture
are primitive.
I said primitive. So you see what they call a primitive man. Simply because your culture is foreign to their culture, you are said to be primitive. Take for example, you have a restaurant where they say fried rice in the restaurant. That same restaurant, they say Gari and Ero. They say Achu. They say Achu. And somebody who goes to eat Achu or Gari and Ero, they say you're a primitive man. But wait a minute. The same restaurant, but because I'm eating what an African dish, you say I'm a primitive man. I did not bring it from my house.
Of course.
I like what From Congo said. He said, most of you cannot speak your mother's dialect, but you claim to speak English that you don't even know.
A foreign language. And
that's somebody's dialect. English is somebody's dialect.
Yeah.
And if you know how to speak English and you don't know how to speak your mother's dialect, they say you are primitive. Point blank. So that's how it is. So I think the African really need to redefine the identity. Because most of these conflicts, these things we are having is because we are taking a foreign identity. You want to define yourself based on the perspective of the Western world. Dr. Are, history teacher, I know you are about it, but I want to hear from the last person. You will be the last person. Permit me, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I want to really say, it's a good environment here for what we have to say. Building Africa is a very important issue. That is something that, let's say, majority of Africans are running with. They just want to make themselves, and that's it. They don't want to. They are not thinking about their environment. What they are thinking about is themselves. And I really want to commend Cameroon, yes, because from 2017, it has been made that there was a forum that was created that is for Cameroonians abroad. It is a forum that Cameroon as a country encourages Cameroonians abroad to bring back what they go and work for out of the country. Yes, that's why I didn't mention it.
Wow.
So they are encouraged to bring back all of their investment. That's everything that they work for. They should make sure that they are able to invest in Cameroon in order to promote Cameroon, because that is the essence. You cannot be working and you're living your life out of the country, living that you forgot somewhere that you came from. So if you're able to host that place, then why live in the country in the first place?
Okay.
Yeah, so it is very important that in as much as we are thinking about our mind, think about creating a sustainable environment.
A sustainable environment.
In a sense that
in the future or in so many years to come, you're still in a better place. Because if you're thinking only about today, then what about tomorrow? What about the people that you bring to this world? How will they live their life? Yes, it's true, they also need to come and think, but they should come and think for the future, not about the present. Yes.
Very important. I think personally I have to clap for you.
Mr. Eva, I have something to chip in.
Okay.
What Ms. Blessing just said. You know, we are all Cameroonians, and we are following up what is happening in our country. I want to say there is one thing I've discovered about our government, the government of Cameroon. We sit in our parliament and then bring bills, discuss on these bills, write the bills, and we cannot support them. Understand? It's a strong decision taken by the country to ensure that investments are brought back home. But my question now is, how many of these investments have been accepted if to be brought home? The government we have, this kind of government that is scared of losing its economy. Let me put it that way. It's scared of like losing even its interest. And so in that, there's a strong fight. Even from what Ms. Blessing just said, there's a strong fight against those same people who struggle to bring back the investments in Cameroon to Cameroon. So I don't see the possibilities. I don't know if you guys know. You can send me one or two persons that maybe went out, has established out, and they decide to come back into the country with his or her investments, and then the government of Cameroon is sponsoring that or accepting these investments to come. So where should we really begin?
I think rather we should ask you: is there any notable event, occasion like that you know that this person, can you cite one? This person has the passion to invest in the country, and because of the policy of the government, it was restricted.
Okay, I'll take us back to the person I called before when I spoke. I spoke about Dr. Isunge. That is a noble community builder who started his work here in Cameroon, went out, came back into Cameroon, established hospitals, and these hospitals are like if you are to pay 5,000 francs in a general hospital, you can actually pay 3,000 francs there. And at one point, he had a petition from the government.
From the government?
Yes, that he is causing the government hospitals to take or to have a kind of less input, understand now, or intake of people who are coming in for treatments or because even if it's you now, I cannot be going to pay 5,000 where there's somewhere or pay 3,000 and get the same treatment and more better treatment, of course. So in case like that, are we encouraging him to? He had to spend a lot of money to ensure that particular case is being eliminated. So should we keep on treating those people who are to come back with investments like that or promoting them?
No, let me add to what John is saying. You know, it depends on the system of government. In our maybe Cameroon today, if the government allows that, the government risks of losing the sovereignty. And we know very well that if a case where individuals overshadows the state, it means the state lost what? The sovereignty. So you understand where it comes.
Please,
when you're
fighting.
I understand. It's not like
I'm fighting.
Yeah,
fighting him or
what they want to do. What they want to do, right?
Politicians are saying.
What they want to do, right? Is like we want to prove that this thing is 500. We come and put 1,000. But whereas that's not the case, the state is struggling to make a standard where both individuals and states can have the same.
Yeah, I love what he's saying. He's talking about mixed economic system.
Voila.
In mixed economic system, we have minimum price and maximum price. The government cannot put a price that this bottle is 500 francs, not less than 500 francs, and you sell less than 500 francs.
Why?
You have what we call inflation and deflation.
Voila.
No, in that example you make right, that one you can understand. You can understand because the fact that the government cannot put a ceiling price or a floor price and you sell above or below that price. It must be in that range.
Please, I want to come in. Let us not forget that. Let's not forget that we are people whose minds have been transformed.
Yes.
Understand? And I want to again bring it to our knowledge that the person we are talking about here, Mr. Isunge or Dr. Isunge, is a humanitarian.
Yeah.
Understand? He's into humanitarian activities. And with humanitarian activities, it means you have accepted that the community cannot afford. Understand? You are coming in to either reduce or give for free. Are you getting that? He's a humanitarian. And it's either humanitarians, let me come back again. They are conflict students. It's either you are doing for free or you are reducing the cost or the expenditure. Understand? So, him being a humanitarian, he has discovered that a lot of Cameroonians. My brother, I want to ask you a question. When last did you attend? Did you go to General Hospital?
Let me say so. That's the last year.
Good. Do you know how many persons die in the General Hospital for a day?
I cannot tell you the rate because I'm not into like statistics on public health and on what is going on there.
Okay, we have somebody from the I think maybe she should know, she should have something to say on this field. Because I'm saying this because my brother, if you get to General Hospital, I was there some few months ago, you see the way patients are being treated, you'll never love to go there again. If you get to General Hospital, right, and see how much this Paracet, a cap of Paracet that we can buy outside for 100 francs is sold in the General Hospital, you never want to buy it there again. But that is the government hospital.
Okay.
So let's try to.
I love that. Let me come again. What you are saying, right? That's where now we boil back to the mind. Whenever I go to any public service, right? If you quote me anywhere, all these things that they say bribing and corruption exist. We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do the bribing and corruption.
We are responsible.
If you tell me that this Paracet is 1,000, if I discover there is no 1,000, there I say show me your boss. I go direct to your boss. I say they are selling me Paracet. If you don't take, that's why we have the public independent conciliator in Buea now. Yeah. Because of this thing. Have you heard of the public conciliator? Independent conciliator, sorry, thank you. These are their works. If you go there, they don't treat you well. File your case to the higher authority. If they don't get to you, take it there. I'm telling you.
You are very correct.
The issue is that some years will say that if I do what will happen?
Have you done it?
Please, let's not.
It comes down to your mind.
Please, I want us to get to a level.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I don't even have money to sponsor my treatment. Understand?
Okay.
And they are selling maybe a cat of Paracet that should be sold for 100 francs. They are selling it to me for 200 francs. Understand me? And I'm not even able to pay the 100 francs for the Paracet. That's where we are. Okay. Understand? Okay. Because now you are talking about going to meet these people, going to meet the guy persons, understand, to somebody's case. What about the man down there at the floor level? You understand? That's what I'm trying to say. So my problem is not the aspect of whether they are wrong or right. My problem is bringing in, okay, the position of the Hope Outreach Ministries, where they have come to say, okay, our people are suffering too much. Let us reduce the cost for their treatments. You understand me? So the government in every other country should not take a humanitarian activity and compare to a normal citizen's activity. These are two different things.
I'll stick up again. Yes.
You know, in every it's not like my question. In every country, there is a constitution. There are rules and regulations. Let me just give an example of the carrying of roads. It's not can I say the road is meant for the government to arrange, right? But there are some particular persons that can actually do it. And when they do it, they are still considered guilty. Why? Is it that, okay, people are suffering, yes, but do they allow individuals to go and tar the road? They don't do that.
That is
It's not acceptable. That's what I'm saying, that they are rules and
She's saying very so very
Very
important. There are public good who should be provided by the government.
By the
by the
government.
government.
Because they
No,
need
it's not in the government base.
See,
Let it be.
if an individual got a road, you understand, he has the right to block the road and say nobody should pass this road.
You will not pass.
Yes, it's my road.
You, I'm telling
it's
you.
my road.
Okay.
It's my road.
You would deprive a lot of
That's why the government is the one responsible to carry the road. Because you know that they're looking where to carry a road from Nigeria to carry the road.
You have a point.
But I'm not going to refuse. Because the fact that if he does the road, he does his road. That's his road.
He chooses who passes
He
and who
chooses
not.
pass. He can stop. He can hold.
I think there are also terms of contracts.
There are only good.
Yes, terms of contract. It would be that say, okay, this road we allow you to tie it on this term. That on no occasion will you put a toll gate. Collect that.
Thank God you said they came to an agreement.
Okay.
In this kind of situation,
Of course.
Did you go and say I have to sell at this price? No, that's the thing.
See,
If the government find out, then if you want to sell below that price, go and meet the government. I have to sell below this price. You meet them and talk to them.
I'm coming back to there.
The fact that you're an antenna don't mean that you should just
Coming back to there, I hope.
There's
You
one
talk
there's one
about
actor
material.
and the state.
Right.
Let me make something clear, please.
Yeah.
It's like we are not still understanding me.
We are getting you 5 on 5.
You are in my guys.
You try to understand what I'm trying.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's not deviate from there.
Yeah.
That's why I say that
Let's get normally this all
Just so you continue, sir, please. I would like to hear from
Gender, yeah.
the president of Karen Foundation. So we have grown up with this mindset. Because if you ask me personally, whatever is happening to the state or to an individual, there's a reason somehow that will be deceived to us. So you are someone who is passionate about transforming the youth, reaching out to the lives of young people. So you must have something to say.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Answering the question on ground. First of all, we need to deconstruct the minds of them. We need to deconstruct the way they think. We need to tell them. In fact, we need to organize workshops to educate the youth on how to rebuild their minds. Because for me, when we talk about them, all these things we are talking, it boils down to one point. If you are not determined, even if you are not disciplined, you are not determined, and you don't put fear behind you, you never start what you want to do. For example, let me just talk on my own process. Let me just say something like a story about myself. I came to I'm someone who does not have a very perfect life. I'm not perfect. I gave birth at the age of 17, too young, and in our mind, I had to deconstruct my mindset. That's the mindset of our community. Immediately you give birth, you need to go to your husband's house. So when I refused going to the boy's house, they decided to seize my child and all that. They placed me under a hot seat. Choose between going without your child and staying here with your child. I said, I'm going without my child. That was how everybody was surprised. Me picking, how will you say something like that? I said, no, I know what I'm doing. I went to Douala, I had my advanced level, that is as a result of hard work, because I was going to an evening school while I was doing business. I've always been a food vendor. So coming back to Boya, I was so passionate about law, women, gender, so I had to study women and gender, and by the grace of God now I'm doing my master's in So after 2 years of studying, I knew what is family law. I knew my right. I had to go back and fought for the child. So talking about deconstructing my mind, I had to move from that myth, from that belief that when you give birth, you are a failure. When you give birth, that is the end of your life. And I had to focus on who I wanted to become. I did this by reflecting, I had to place a mirror in front of me. I spoke to myself, is this who I wanted to become? Is this how my life was planned? And I had to reply myself, no. So from there, I had to write down my fears. So youth have to write down their fears. Most of us, we always think of big things. I call it big things because if I ask Mr. Eva, what do you want to, what if maybe I want to help you, what can I do?
Yeah.
What will you say?
Personal, as of this point, before now or now?
No, before now.
Before now, maybe I would like you to build me a house. Maybe you give me money. Maybe you open a bank.
You might have blessing. Please, I want to help you. What can I do to help you?
Okay, you want to help?
Yes.
Probably before now, I'll be saying I need a very huge amount of money.
That is why I'm saying that we need to rebuild the minds of the youth. That is deconstructing the mind. Because I can remember when I had a workshop on this Currents Foundation, I placed these women and I was asking them, if I want to help you now, what can I do for you? You hear a woman telling you that I'll need a 100,000 francs, I'll need 200,000 francs. Meanwhile, me that I want to help them, I started with 4,000 francs. It's a life story. I'm not yet maybe to sugarcoat myself or to praise myself. I started selling cocaine this way with 4,000 francs before having money to maybe start my small NGO and maybe my school. And the woman will tell you she needs 100,000 francs, she needs 200. Meanwhile, with 10,000 francs, you can start a business. Even with not you can start a business. We have in our community, Boya, we have a lot of bachelors. We have a lot of sleeping. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to.
I'm married.
So they have to call me is workaholic. I just need to know who wants food and does not want to cook. Just call me, I come and cook. 3,000, 4,000 is a very big money for a day to have. Calculate on a day you can earn 2,000 francs. For 1 month is 60,000 francs. People don't want to think small. They want to think big. There is nobody that just left the mother's womb, just left from 0 to 100. No, it's a step-by-step process. And I bet you, if you go up there without following this process, you come back down. You come back down. So I'm just advising my audience, my fellow youth, let's not think big. Let's start from somewhere. Let's start from small. With 2,000 francs, with 1,000 francs, in fact with nothing. You just need to know what you can offer and know who wants what you can offer to start up something. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, President of Currents Foundation. I think that means you have said so much very important things you pointed out. So if the youth there are problems everywhere. You can just identify the problem, bring solution. Like when he asked, there are many bachelors. Let's not say maybe in this house where we are. Nobody
Yeah, for sure.
So somewhere like me, I leave my house very early in the morning. I come back by 10 p.m. You don't expect me to come out. Not that I cannot. I grew up with my mother. I can cook very well. But there's no time. Sometimes I just come, I crash on my couch, and before I wake up, it's morning because I'm too exhausted. So if the youth can think small, then definitely think Miss Nelly and the midwife that you are. You know that even during birth, the contraction begins small before it extends. So what can you say? I know that you are saying the concerns of you. It's your domain.
Yeah.
Please feel free.
You cannot touch my
You talked about the aspect of hospital putting paracetamol for 1,000 and the people that don't have money, they are not able to afford. Now, do you realize that there were a time that health was free? They were giving health free. Like, they were not paying this our country. They were not paying.
But the thing that this can I say something. Even now, for pregnant women, there's what we call, the government has put in place that they call universal health coverage. It's just that most women are not they're not aware of this opportunity, where with 6,000 francs a woman can start her antenatal. And also for children 0 to 5 years, they have free malaria treatment, and with family planning it's also free. So these are also ways that the government wants to help our community. So that's what I want to say.
Even the vaccines.
Yes.
Even the vaccines.
Yes.
Yeah, with this BCG. They don't really pay for it. Now, then what I'm trying to say is that then the individuals, since it was free, they felt like it wasn't important.
Yeah.
You know that if they give you something, if someone comes and give you this bubble up for free,
I'll wash my hands with it.
exactly, you feel like it's not that important, or maybe it's the leftovers of that person, and the person just decided to give you. They were not taking health seriously. Someone would take their time to treat you. To you, you feel like, no, this thing is not important. That's why they're doing it for free, and that's why they placed the standard price on it, so that when you remove your money, what you've worked for, and give it out, you realize that I have removed this thing that I treasure so much, so I should take it seriously.
If they give you prescription, how to follow?
You have to take it now seriously, because you have actually spent on it. You are seeing the importance of that particular treatment because you have used money. I'm not saying what they are doing right now is the best, but rather I think it's still very good, because individuals take things seriously when they actually spend on it or they work for it.
That's right.
Because if they give you things free, you will feel like this world is very simple. Things are very simple. And in the aspect of the hospital, general hospital having so much debt, have you thought of the health personnel in that hospital? What they themselves they go through? Now you realize that in a hospital, like let's take for example in the maternity, I've worked in my one hospital, the regional hospital in there. They have a maternity. In that maternity, they have just 2 trained midwives. Is it that the country does not have midwives? No, they are training midwives. There are midwives in the country. They don't want to put them in the system. You use 2 midwives. Imagine 10 women comes into the maternity. It's a very big hospital. We all know it's a government hospital. 10 women come into the hospital, and those 10 women are in labor. Can that 2 midwives attend to all those 10 women? So you see that the availability of health personnel is actually small. It's very minimum as compared to the population. Imagine you want to compare the population of Limbe to the health personnel that are found in those hospitals. It's not also easy on the health personnel on their own aspect.
Yeah.
So don't feel like they are at fault, or maybe is that they feel they don't want to. And the same way that goes to when you can give someone a job and the person doesn't take it seriously. That's why we always use this word empathy. We need to have empathy as health personnel when treating a patient. We should put ourselves in their positions, and we should try to have time management. We should not waste patients' time. Like you cannot come to the hospital with an emergency case and you want to attend to a patient, you take 2 hours. Meanwhile, it's an emergency case. And at the same time, some of the health personnel, we apply negligence due to the fact that we are not being motivated. Now we blame it on the government. We don't want to take self-considerations. We need to work with our conscience. Some of us have killed those consciences because we feel like the money is the goal. It's the money we want. So it boils down now to the mindset, to what you can have as a passion. And like he earlier said, concerning passion, you can take your passion to be your focus. If you have a passion of something, a passion to do something, irrespective of whether you're being paid for it or not, you do it well. You do it with your full chest. When you do it, you have this this love, this desire, this fulfillment, irrespective of if the environment or the people look up to you to say, I really loved what you do. And now what is also killing these individuals is when you have this passion, you do it, but there is nobody to make you feel like what you're doing is more. You cannot be an individual which you offer your best in the society, or let's say you are rendering community services, because I've done community services. You render community service and maybe you clean a mother's house, and after you're done with everything, and the woman is like, look at my house, it's never clean it well. Do you think that person will have that impression to carry on with that? So we also need individuals to help. We need one another to grow. It also has to do with the mindset. We need to put into consideration that whatever thing we do and whichever way we motivate people, we must not motivate people with money, but just with words. Words are very powerful. Just with words, we can do a lot.
Right, thank you so much. I think we have been signaled our time has elapsed. So, but just so we go, Dr. Are, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. This is very important, the concept of the mind. So I wish to bring to our notice that most of all this iPhone and Pixel, right? And we know that, I think Mr. Ifan, right, you use Pixel, and you know that it's been produced by American company. Do you know where the resources come from? Africa. Good. Do you know where the resources from Google Pixel and iPhone come from? DRC. Good. Now it brings to our concept of the mindset. We go to where these resources are being manufactured rather than coming towards the resources. Now we know that in economics, when industry want to locate, it's preferable to go closer to the raw materials. I love the statement which you made last time, but you said a statement that there's a wind that is blowing through Africa, and you should position yourself in the direction of the wind, because you realize that there are untapped resources in Africa. In fact, Africans have not even gone half of their resources, sir.
Even a quarter.
There are enough resources in this country, and it is the right time for us to make use of our mindset and tap these resources, because there are other countries that are doing it for us. They create conflict for us, and they come in and take resources. We call it third parties or black hands. Now this spoilers. Now this is what we come to understand, the fact that the concept of the mind. We should remove this mindset, the fact that we must go out for us to succeed. You can still go out and succeed and come back and invest in this same country. This is a country. This is your continent. In fact, the biggest continent on the earth is the mindset. The mind is the biggest continent. Everything originates from the mind. If you don't start something from the mind, you can never finish it. The mind. Thank you, sir. I think we'll just have a break for now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying this long with us. We are so glad to have you. It is our pleasure to host for today. Meanwhile, we'll continue next time. But I suggest that we should continue on tap resources now.
I love that, sir. I will not give you enough time to explain. I will not give you enough time to explain. I just said that.
Alright, dear researcher, just go do your research on tap resources of Africa, human, natural, capital, every kind of resource that you know. So thank you for staying with us. We love to have your comments at the comment section. You have questions, you have contributions, anything that you have, just drop your comment sections, because recommendations and your critics as well. So thank you.
Thank you too, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Signing off. It was a pleasure. Madam Gender, I appreciate that.